up, everyone? It's your girl Cookie coming back with you with another video. And like I stated before, this is going to be part 2 of child support, which is basically talking about a review modification. Let me get my camera straight because I think y'all look crooked. Okay, so let's talk about review modification. Like I stated before, this is subject from state to state. Please get in contact with your local state agency concerning review modification. So, with that being said, let's talk about review modification. So basically, a review modification or a modification of support is basically when a custodial parent or a non-custodial parent requests for the case to be reviewed for a modification onto the case. Now, with the review modification, it's basically like refilling out a new application for service. It's just that at this time, you're requesting, y'all, I'm sorry about the police, but you're requesting for your case to be reviewed to see if your support order could be increased or decreased or possibly remain the same. Now, some state does charge an application fee. You definitely need to get in contact with your state agency to confirm if they do have an application fee, and they usually will bill you for that application fee for a modification of your case. Now, with a review modification, the normal turnaround time supposed to be within 6 months. Now, that can vary, and I'm gonna give you some reasons why that can vary. The first reason why it can vary is depending upon how quickly the other party respond back to the request for a review modification. When a parent, non-custodial or custodial, requests for a review modification, the agency that's handling the case is required to notify the other parent that a review modification is requested. This can cause a delay as far as that paperwork getting processed, because a lot of time parents will try to run and hide to avoid that review modification paperwork, which is not good. For the mere fact of, if you try to run and hide, then the courts will automatically have to get involved and you would get subpoenaed. Now, with some state agency, like I stated, this varies from state to state, but some state agency, if you refuse to do a review modification and a parent has requested it because of hardship or for whatever reason, and they're meeting the guidelines to get one, sometimes the courts can move forward with the review modification without your input, and your support order could either be in the behalf of the parent that requested for that review modification. So it is very important that if you receive a review modification paperwork, to go ahead and fill it out, because if you do not, the court can go ahead and do a default order against you without your input. And yes, it could be done. So you definitely want to make sure that you contact your state agency, because I know within my state, we have done that.
Not a pretty call.
Secondly, a delay in review modification is because if two parents are residing in two separate states, this can cause a big delay because it's two state agencies that are trying to work a review modification. And this can be a big problem because one state agency has to contact another state agency, and then that state agency has to contact that parent, and then they have to wait for that parent to send back the paperwork to that state agency, and then that state agency notify the state agent that requested it that they got the paperwork back. So that 6-month time frame can go up to a year, sometimes a year and a half. Like I stated, it just really depends upon how quickly the other parent respond back to the state agency. The next issue is what we all are going through right now with COVID, is court dates. Courts has been pushing back a lot of non-essential hearing, and child support, unfortunately, is one of those that has fall under that umbrella. So a lot of the court hearings where child support has been able to get in and out like that, lots of time they have pushed them back, or they're doing virtual hearing just to combat the COVID crisis. And so that alone has caused a lot of the review modification paperwork and process to be delayed because we're just waiting for the courts to give us a date and be open. And so what you see now is that, we have the paperwork and ready to go to court, but we have to wait for the courts to open or give us a date that we can have a hearing. So what can you do to help with the review modification process? First of all, make sure that you fill out all documents, and if there's anything that needs to be notarized, notarize all documents. State your reason for the review modification. So if it's for the mere fact of that your income is decreased and you need assistance or more money from that non-custodial parent because his income increased, then you can do the review modification. Or if the non-custodial parent has loss of wages. With the COVID, a lot of the non-custodial parents that I have come across have companies that have closed down and they're not able to make the money like they used to because of that close down of that employer. So their income have decreased a lot. Review modification is perfect for you. You would definitely need to put in the documentation as far as why you're requesting for a review modification, and if you can get paperwork where your employer has closed down, that will help move the process for your review modification to go through. Now, most of the time, and like I stated, contact your state agency. Review modification is done every 3 years from the date that your court order went into effect. So it is imperative that if you're trying to do a review modification before the 3-year time frame, you definitely need to submit a letter and whatever you can submit over to get a review modification done before that 3-year time frame. Because if you send in that paperwork and you just don't say anything, that is going to get you denied. So I always advise the non-custodial parent who have lost employment to attach your lost employment paperwork where you have filed for unemployment and that you need to have your payment reduced because you're not making that same income. Now let me put a disclaimer that it's not going to speed up that review modification. Unfortunately, it still may take that 6 months up to a year time frame for a review modification to be completed. But the only thing that it does, it just gives you the opportunity to have your case to be reviewed. You may want to contact your state agency if they have any outsourced program that can assist you to try to help find employment to help you make your monthly pay. Another thing that I want to add on about with the review modification onto the case, when an order has been signed by a judge, the order would give the date as far as that review modification paperwork supposed to go into effect. So if the child support payment increased, then the judge would give a date that support order to go into effect. So which means is when you walk out the court, it doesn't mean that your order go into effect when you walk out the court. It goes into effect on the date that the judge signed upon that order to go into effect. So if you went to court today and the judge said the order does not go into effect until September the 1st, then that's when your child support payment will begin for that new order amount. I think that's it. I'm trying to make sure before I let you guys go about review modification. Review modification, I will say, can be lengthy just because it's redoing your order back over, and y'all, it just takes time. It really does take time. But keep in mind that, you do have that opportunity to do the review modification with your state agency. You also have that opportunity to do a review modification with your own personal attorney. That is your option. Just keep in mind that attorney costs more than your state agency. But until then, y'all, I hope you all enjoy this video. If you did, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell. Until then, my friends, I hope y'all have a great and wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Bye.